Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Well, today is the most beautiful autumn day here near Sydney and I really felt creative today. I felt like I was in a creative mood, and I feel like for any of you who have gone through creative ruts like I'm constantly going through, I think it's nice to take advantage of those opportunities where you do feel creative, or those little sparks or moments where you suddenly feel like you want to be productive and you want to do something interesting or different, or just like experiment with something. And one thing that I've been thinking about doing for a while now, which I've really wanted to do, is to make a vision board for this year. And I think I've mentioned this a few times on my channel already this year, but I have really struggled with my goal setting this year overall. I felt it's very difficult to know where to go with it, especially for my career, because honestly, my career is very much all over the place at the moment. I'm doing a lot of different things and it's hard to kind of like focus on a few different things or a few different goals to kind of set at the moment. So usually, I've mentioned this before as well on my channel, but I would have all of my goal setting done pretty much in January, February kind of at the latest. And my partner and I usually go away for a couple of nights and we go and just do our goal setting, whether it's personal, career, business, whatever it is, we do our goal setting and we kind of do it on between like 1 to 2 days. And this year that hasn't happened. And not because we haven't had the opportunity to go away really, or to kind of have those moments of setting goals, but honestly because I've just not been knowing where to start. And it's very out of character for me year to year. Like I said, I usually have this stuff kind of done at the beginning of the year when it's all fresh in my mind, when I'm in that new year mode. But this year it just hasn't happened for me. So instead, what I wanted to do today was actually do a vision board. And for those of you who don't know what a vision board is, it's essentially whatever you make it to be, but it can be a compilation of images or videos or content that you really feel are inspiring for you and kind of represent your goals for the year, or represent what you want your year to look like, what you want your life to be envisioned as. And for me, I really enjoy making vision boards because I think that they tend to give you that little bit of inspiration and a little bit more of a kick to kind of do the things that you want to do in the year and achieve those goals. And because I don't really have those set goals down on paper yet, I felt like maybe making a vision board would be a good way to kind of spark some interest, spark some excitement for what I want my life to look like, and then maybe some of those goals will kind of come along with it. I'm personally a very visual person, so I do rely on imagery and like seeing things and manifesting and envisioning things to kind of get excited about, you know, projects or work or my life in general. And I think this is a great way to start with that. Before I do get any further with the video though, I am going to finally introduce myself. For those of you who have not seen my videos before and are new to this channel, my name is Kaylee June and I'm a beauty and fashion photographer based near Sydney, Australia. And I'm also a content creator. So I started this channel a few years ago to talk about all things business, social media, freelancing, and content creation. I actually run numerous social media accounts. So I obviously have this channel, which as I mentioned is all about content creation and kind of like the behind the scenes of a creative just kind of living their life. I also have another photography channel here on YouTube, and then I also have a travel vlogging channel with my partner Dan, where we actually just mainly do travel vlogging and travel content, and that is another passion of mine. So I actually have a lot of different things going on across a lot of different social media sites. And so this is where my dilemma has been this year, is where to kind of start with my goal settings. So we're going to envision them instead. We're going to get some imagery together and really spark some goals or some excitement for my year ahead before it gets too late in the year, because it's already April, and we're actually going to finally do this and get some stuff sorted. So feel free to follow along or to do your own vision board following along to this video. I think that could be a kind of a cool thing to do, and we can kind of make vision boards together. Now, to make my vision board today, I will be utilizing PixArt, and I'm really proud to say that they are the sponsor for today's video. So if you guys have been watching my channel previously, you'll know that I've been working with PixArt on lots of different videos over the last last year or so, and I really enjoy working with PixArt. I think they have a really phenomenal platform where you can kind of create anything you want. And as a creative and as someone who works from home and works for themselves, sometimes you really need those accessible platforms where you can kind of create anything you need to. I've made everything from invoices through PixArt to marketing materials to invitations for my personal life. I've created media kits and YouTube thumbnails. Anything that you can pretty much name, I've probably created it through PixArt. And now Suki has also come to join the video. So PixArt really is an all-in-one design platform with a bunch of really useful AI tools, and I highly recommend it for anyone who is looking at getting into content creation and kind of needs a platform where they can create a bunch of things through and really easily access it and get like a lot of free content too. That's one thing that I really love about PixArt is they have a lot on offer in their free model, which is kind of rare with a lot of platforms these days, I'm not gonna lie. So I really do appreciate that with PixArt. And as I said, if you'd like to follow along with this video in creating a vision board, definitely feel free to, and feel free to check out PixArt via the link in the description box below. Also remember to use the code KayleePro for 10% off a yearly subscription. And we have the other Whippet joining. What are you doing? So without further ado, maybe go light a candle, grab a cup of tea, and let's get started making a vision board. Okay, so excuse the setup. I am filming on the floor for this today. I just wanted to get really comfy and sit on some cushions and just kind of enjoy the light at the moment in my lounge room because it's just got that nice like autumn dappled light coming through, and it's just, I don't know, it's just like a nice spot to be in right now. So I was like, I'm not going to film in my room today. I'm going to film downstairs. So if my setup's a bit weird, I am like filming with my microphone on a cardboard box at the moment. So, you know, we're making it work. So now that we're on the homepage of PixArt, we are going to create a new project. So this is going to be our vision board. So if we go over to new project, I'm going to make sure the width is at about 3,000 pixels. And then the height can be at about, let's say, 1,500. And then we'll go create. Okay, and now we've created our document. So I'm just gonna like pretty it up a little bit first and just kind of put some text in there, just kind of give it a little bit of a vibe first of all. But one thing I'm going to mention is that we're going to be bringing up Pinterest for all the images that I'm going to be sourcing today and copying and pasting into the document. So I find Pinterest is like one of the best ways to get all of your, you know, inspiration and all the images that kind of like spark interest for you. Pinterest is my go-to for that, as it is for many people. So I'm going to bring that up in another tab. Okay, now back to PixArt. So as I said, I'm going to make it a little bit pretty to start with. So let's choose a background. I kind of want to make it, I guess, like a little bit more like wallpaper, like a cute little print or something would be nice. So let's go over to texture. Oh my gosh, they've got some really cute Easter ones at the moment. Like, look at these. That's so adorable. I think I'm going to go for something pretty simple though. These Easter ones are so cute though. Let's go for the flowers. I really like this, and I also kind of like this too. Maybe I'm going to stick with the flowers for now and we'll see how we go. Okay, so now zooming in a little bit, I'm just going to go to the top left-hand corner and we're going to add some text in. So let's go to text and then let's go to font pairs because I'm feeling a bit lazy and I just want PixArt to choose a couple of different fonts for me that look good next to each other. So let's go to see more and maybe let's go this one here. And I'm just going to highlight this top part and say vision board. And we'll stretch that out just a little bit and move that up to the corner. And then this one, I'm going to say 2025. And we're just going to put that maybe next to it there. Maybe make it just a little bit bigger too. I am actually going to also go to elements here on the left-hand side. And I'm going to choose a square just to go in behind. I'm just going to move that down on the layers behind the text. And we're going to move that kind of across just so the text is a little bit more visible. We're going to change that to like a dusky pink, sort of similar to the flowers here. That looks nice. And then I'm just going to change the font color as well and maybe change that to white. And maybe we'll change this font color to maybe like something like that to kind of match in with the leaves. And maybe we'll add a little bit of a drop shadow as well. So let's add a really slight drop shadow in. We'll kind of blur that out quite a bit. And move that in just a little bit there. Okay, so that's kind of like the base for our vision board. I'm just gonna select all of these to move up like a little bit further. And as I said, that is our base for now. So looking nice, just want something kind of simple to start off with. And now we can start putting our images in. So I've had a little bit of a think about this beforehand and what kind of imagery I want to put on this vision board, what I want to kind of represent my year or what I want my life to look like. So as I said, I've got a nice little list of things that we can kind of look up on Pinterest. So let's start on the left-hand side of the vision board. And I'm going to go over to Pinterest now and let's go to the search bar. And first off, I'm actually going to start with kind of travel related things because let's be real, travel I always want to have in my life. And no matter what year it is, no matter what I'm doing with my career, travel is always somehow part of that. And I think for now, something with mountains in it is always going to be something that I want to have in my life. Like seeing mountains always inspires me and it's always where I want to be. Like I love colder climates and mountains and coziness. So maybe we can go camping mountains. That might work. Okay, so this is exactly what I'm talking about. This image right here, very representative of what I want my life to look like at some point this year. I always love doing van trips. I've spoken about this before on my channel, camper vans and traveling in them. I love doing that. And even better if you get to go somewhere where there's mountains and there's epic landscapes. So I'm going to copy and paste this image first into the vision board. So seeing some of this year would be like amazing. I'm all for that. And like if it's from a camper van, even better. Again, this doesn't have to be really specific. You can just put images on here that you simply like and that inspire you. You don't necessarily have to write a story behind each one of them. If this is kind of what you want your life to look like in any way, then just envision it and have this board as purely something for you to look upon every time you want some inspiration, every time you want some direction with where you want your life to kind of head. Kind of remember these things and go back to these things because that's what I really find is great about vision boards. Okay, so we're going to go back to Pinterest and we're going to go back and let's see if there's any other images here that really stand out. I mean, loving this image. Camping in general, I love. So definitely want to be doing some more of that this year. It's kind of just like the simple things, right? I mean, I kind of love the idea of this photo. I love the fact that there's a book in this shot because as well, one of my goals for this year, I think that I would love to have is reading more. And that is one that I do have in mind. So I'm going to pop this in the vision board, because I think that this is also a great combo of things that I want to be doing, aka camping and reading. And back to Pinterest. One thing I would love to envision myself doing more of is photographing in nature. So let's go nature photographer. This might give us a nice image where I can take a little bit of inspo from. God, I mean, I've only been doing this for a few minutes now and I'm already starting to feel inspired to do all of these things. And I don't know, there's something about the visual element of this that really just kind of like captures your attention a lot more and really makes you want to start planning. I think some of these images are just beautiful as well, which, you know, really helps kind of like set the tone for kind of your goals and like your inspirations for the year. Let's go photographing in nature. I like this image here. A great way to kind of narrow down your images and find more similar to that is to just go down to like the related images underneath the image that you've clicked on in your search. It's funny, some of these really remind me of like the Tumblr days, like over 10 years ago, where a lot of this kind of imagery was super popular at the time. And like, I don't know, it still hits for me. Like, I think there's still something about it that's like very whimsical and kind of love that. Do you know what? I think this first image is like a really nice representation. So I'm just going to copy and paste that into the vision board as well. kind of making sure that I've got that love of photography kept alive and well. And back to Pinterest. Now, the next image that I really kind of want to find is something to do with building an email list. Now, that's going to be a hard image to kind of find specifically. It's very niche. But I guess if I search like content creator working, maybe we can get something kind of like that. I kind of just want maybe like a flat lay with a laptop or something. Like this isn't too bad. Maybe something like that. Maybe this one. I kind of feel like this has that kind of vibe about it. So let's copy and paste that. Yeah, kind of let's maybe make it a horizontal one so we can fit it in that little bit better. Okay, so one of my other interests that has been slowly developing has been an interest in knitting. And that is definitely something that I want to get into more this year. I think one of my main things is just like getting back to my creative side. That's, I think, at the core of like all of my feelings right now, that is what I want to be doing. So let's have a look at knitting and see if we can get some cute images for the vision board. Okay, so immediately, like, I love this. That's going in the vision board. Love those colors. So let's put that one in here where it can slot in. So knitting is definitely something that I want to learn more about this year and kind of just have that other extra hobby that is not necessarily something to do with my work, because I feel like a lot of hobbies these days for me end up becoming associated with my work. And this is just one of those things that I want to have to myself, where I can just kind of like knit and have fun and learn something new. Another thing that I really want to be thinking a lot more about this year is, I guess, looking at a new home, because Dan and I have lived here now for, well, early next year it'll be 5 years, but just at the moment it's been over 4. And our plan was technically never to stay here forever. It was always going to be to move on to a house that was a little bit bigger. This is fairly small in terms of the space that we have here. And, you know, we just want to kind of like eventually get to the point where we do move on. And I think it's just really something that we've been thinking about more and more of lately. And I think we're going to be hopefully aiming for sometime maybe early in the new year to kind of move on. So this is really something we have to start thinking about now. And I think there's a lot of pressure for this to happen, but at the same time, I just kind of want to get inspired and start getting inspired for this and not put too much pressure on us just yet for that and have it happen this year. But, you know, to kind of get the brain moving a little bit with it and to remember that that is a goal that we have in mind, I think it would be definitely worthwhile putting on the vision board. So let's go new home. You can see there's a few actual images here that I've already saved on Pinterest previously when I've been like looking for new home photos and things like that. And like, yeah, I think this was one of them, which I just absolutely adore. Oh my God, the wood and the tones and just like the coziness. You know, for those of you who don't know, my dream would be to have like a mountain home. Unfortunately, I don't really live in a place where there's very big mountains. I mean, we have like an escarpment, I guess you would call it. But there's not too many like opportunities for mountain homes where I live specifically. So, but you know what? We'll manifest. We'll try and manifest. And obviously, like a home like this is probably going to be quite expensive. It looks like there's been an interior designer involved. So, you know, that's going to be not cheap and probably not something that we'll be doing. But I think just like putting that on the mood board is so cute. I'm actually low-key thinking that the background may need to change because it is looking very busy with what we've got going on at the moment. But we can do that at the end. Let's go and have a look at some more kind of like new home photos. Oh my God, these wooden homes are just stunning. Like I love those kind of autumn vibes and I love windows. Oh my goodness. See, this is already like giving me ideas and making me inspired. It's incredible. I just like, look at this. This is incredible. This is incredible. Like I love all of that like light filled home stuff. It's just beautiful. I think I've got to add one of those. Oh, but which one do I like more? Oh, this is so nice. But then also this. Do you know what? I love the light in this one. Let's just copy and paste that one. As I said, it doesn't have to be exact. It's just, you know, gaining a little bit of inspiration for maybe what you would like to kind of happen in your life, which is fine. I actually saw an image that I'd previously saved before as well, and it was this one here, which, oh my goodness, look at the light in this. It is so amazing. I'm copying and pasting this. It is like a bit of watercolor painting. So again, getting back into creativity, having new hobbies, this is absolutely something that I would love to see myself doing. I think it's just the most gorgeous thing. There's a few more things that I do want to add into this, and one of those things is going to be traveling with dogs because, as you know, we've got 2 dogs. Oh my god, this is like the cutest photo. I'm just gonna get this one. I love the idea of traveling with dogs. I think it just gives it enriches their life so much more, and yours, and I love the idea of it. Okay, so my camera stopped recording, but the last one you may have seen me put in maybe was the traveling with dogs one. Okay, I'm just going to quickly go over this just in case. But I added in a photo for traveling with dogs. I added in one that was for watercolor painting. And I also added in one that was for building community. And I really just want to focus on building a community at the moment as a content creator. I feel like most content creators want that. And that's the last few ones that I actually added in. I just think that like it's the best traveling with dogs too. I always want to have that on my vision boards because it's always the best time. Another one that I really want to add in here is spending time with family and friends. I think that that is one thing that I just want to envision in my life this year. So let's find a nice image that kind of represents that. I really love these ones like dining at the table. Oh my god, they're so cute. You know what? This one here is the perfect representation for me. I love it so much, and that is going in the mood board. Okay, so we've definitely got a nice little vision board forming at the moment. And there's just one more that I do want to put in actually. There is one more image that I want to find. And let's go back to Pinterest. And this one is going to be traveling with a baby. And this has always been kind of a lifelong goal, to be honest. But I'm going to choose this image here because I think it represents everything that I was just talking about. And we're going to pop that right down here in the corner. And that one's going to be a really special one. I'm not going to say much more on it just yet, but that is definitely one of the most important things I think that I've put on this vision board this year. And I will be talking a little bit more about it in a future video. So you'll have to wait until then. But overall, this is my vision board for 2025. So I am pretty happy with how all of this looks. I do think I'm just going to shift things just a little bit to make sure everything is looking kind of decent here. I don't know. Do we like the background wallpaper? Do we not like the background wallpaper? Like, I don't know. I kind of think it's cute now that I'm looking at it. Maybe I won't change it. I really like the patterns with the background. So I think I'm going to leave that for now. And let's zoom out and have a look at the vision board for 2025. So I'm loving how this looks. I really just want to print it off and put it in my room somewhere and just kind of like look back on it and even put it on my phone. This is a great thing about creating these kinds of digital boards is that you can really put them anywhere you like and look at them again anywhere you like. And I just think, yeah, looking at this now is just the best. It gives me so many ideas and so many goals in my head and just a really nice starting point. Just kind of going back to remembering what's important in my life, remembering what I want to achieve this year, and not always thinking of it as a career-based thing, making it sure you're thinking about your life, your lifestyle, and how you want that to look, and actually kind of manifest it that way. So I'm really happy with how the vision board looks for this year, and I'm going to be probably downloading this and putting it basically everywhere. Thank you so much for watching this video today. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, make sure you do because I'll be posting a lot more videos like this one. Let me know what you thought of this video and if you'd like me to do more videos like this, kind of create along with me videos. I kind of would like to do a few more of them this year. I think that could be kind of fun. Also, let me know in the comments, have you already created your vision board for 2025 or are you looking at creating one? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear. A quick reminder as well to go and check out PixArt via the link in the description box below. and also make sure to use the code KayleePro for 10% off a yearly subscription. But for now, that's all from me, Suki, and Kaito over here. And thank you as always for watching. I really appreciate the comments that every one of you leaves, and I definitely read all of them. Thank you so much for watching and your support as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Are you right there? You're very close. Would you like to say something? Speak! 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 That's a lot. That's a lot.